Hello students, today we are going to start Poem 3 How to Tell Wild Animals by Caroline Wells. Let us read more about the poet. Caroline Wells was an American author and poet. She was the daughter of William E. and Anna Wells. She is writer of poems, mysteries, children's literature, parodies and other humorous pieces. She was born on 18th June 1862 in Rahway at New Jersey in United States, and she died on March 26, 1942. Let us understand the central idea of the poem. The poem How to Tell Wild Animals by Caroline Wells revolves around the dangerous ways to identify the wild animals. The poet tries to distinguish one animal from the other in a humorous way. The poet suggests that it's very risky to be in such a close proximity to these wild beasts. First stanza. If ever you should go by chance to jungles in the east, and if there should to you advance a large and tawny beast, tawny means yellowish brown color. If he roars at you as you are dying, you will know it is the ancient lion. The poet is telling the readers that how they can recognize various animals in the jungles of the east. So, in first stanza, she says that if the reader comes across an animal whose skin is yellowish brown in color, and if it roars at him so strongly that he can die out of fear, it means that he has encountered an ancient lion. She has humorously explained the ancient lion, which could kill a person with its roars. Second stanza. Or if some time when roaming round, a noble wild beast greets you with black strips on a yellow ground, just notice if he eats you. This simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. Noble means high-born, aristocratic, and discern means recognize. She explains an animal that roams in the jungle and belongs to a royal clan. The color of its skin is yellowish with black strips. She says that if you notice that he kills up and eats you up, then this means that you have surely seen a Bengal tiger. This time also she has used dark humor to explain how a tiger looks like, because once a person has been eaten up by a wild animal, there is no use in determining which animal it is. Third stanza. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered, as soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it's the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain, he will only leap and leap again. Strolling means walking casually, forth means forward, peppered here it means the spots, leapt means jump towards someone. The poet says that if you are casually walking in a jungle, you will meet an animal who has a skin with spots on it. This animal is so fast that it will leap on you at once, which means that it will jump on you. This jumping is an indication that it is none other than the leopard. Moreover, she adds that if you will cry out in pain, it is not going to be any use, as it will keep on jumping on you. So, in this stanza, the poet has explained the characteristics of a leopard. Fourth stanza. If when you are walking around your yard, you meet a creature there who hugs you very, very hard, be sure it's a bear. If you have any doubts, I guess he will give you just one more caress. Caress means a gentle touch. If you are walking in the lawn area of your house and you meet a creature which hugs you tightly, it is a bear. She further adds that if you are still in doubt regarding the animal, the easiest way is that he will keep hugging and touching you very gently. This act of his will make you sure about its identity. You will come to know that it is a bear. Fifth stanza. Though to distinguish Beast of prey, a novice might nonplus, the crocodile you always may tell from the henna thus, Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. Distinguish means differentiate. Beast of prey means animals that hunts other animals for food. Novice means someone new to a job. Nonplus means be confused. The poet says that for someone who is new to the job of recognizing animals, it will be like a puzzle to recognize animals that hunt other animals for their food. So here the poet tries to help out the readers by telling the difference between two animals. He says that Hyenas will be smiling, whereas if it is a crocodile, it is always in tears. Both of these animals are dangerous. Sixth stanza. The true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. He hasn't any ears at all, and not a single wing. If there is nothing on the tree, it is the chameleon you see. The poet says that the next is chameleon, which is a small creature. It looks like a lizard, but the difference between the two is that chameleon does not have ears and wings. Moreover, she says that chameleon has the ability to change its color according to the surface on which it is sitting. Therefore, if you see a tree and find nothing else on it, then it must be a chameleon sitting on it. It has changed its color into the color of tree. Now I'll discuss some poetic devices with you. First stanza. If ever you should go by chance to jungles in the east, metonymy, because the words jungles of east represent some countries of Asia where the lion is found. Next line. And if there should to you advance a large and tawny beast, metonymy, because the words large and tawny beast represents the lion. Next line. If he roars at you as you are dying, you will know it is the ancient lion. Onomatopoeia, because the word roars represents sound, and repetition, because the word you is repeated. Second stanza. Or if sometime when roaming round a noble wild beast greets you. Here there are three figures of speech, that is alliteration, oxymoron and personification. Alliteration because the consonant sound R is repeated in the words roaming and round. Oxymoron because the opposite words noble and wild have used together to give a new meaning, that the tiger is magnificent but a wild animal. Personification because the tiger is given the human trait of greeting. Next line. With black strips on a yellow ground. Metaphor because there is indirect comparison between the hide of a tiger and the ground. The point of comparison is the background. Next line. Just notice if he eats you. Irony. Because the meaning is exactly opposite. How can you notice if one is eaten? Next line. This simple rule may help you learn the Bengal Tiger to discern. Here there are two figures of speech, that is anastrophe and internal rhyme. Anastrophe because there is inversion in the construction of the sentence for poetic effect. Internal rhyme because the rhyming words learn and discern are used in the same sentence for poetic effect. Third stanza. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered. Here there are two figures of speech, that is anastrophe and metaphor. Anastrophe because there is inversion in the construction of the sentence for poetic effect, and metaphor because there is an indirect comparison between the hide of a leopard and some dish that has been sprayed with pepper. The point of comparison is the black dots. Next line. As soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it is the leopard. Here there are two figures of speech, that is repetition and alliteration. Repetition because the word you is repeated for poetic effect, and alliteration because the consonant sound H is repeated in the words he and has, and the consonant sound L is repeated in the words leapt and leopard. Next line. It will do no good to roar with pain. He will only leap and leap again. Here there are three figures of speech, that is internal rhyme, repetition and litotes. Internal rhyme because the rhyming words pain and again are used in the same sentence for poetic effect. Repetition because the word leap is repeated for poetic effect. And litotes because a negation is used to convey the positive meaning that it would be useless to roar with pain. Fourth stanza. If when you are walking round your yard, you meet a creature there. Here there are three figures of speech, that is anastrophe, repetition and alliteration. Anastrophe because there is inversion in the construction of the sentence for poetic effect. Repetition because the word you is repeated for poetic effect. And alliteration because the consonant sound y is repeated in the words your, you and yard. And the consonant sound w is repeated in the words when and walking. Next line. Who hugs you very very hard, be sure it's a bear. Here there are three figures of speech, that is personification, repetition and alliteration. Personification because the bear is given the human trait of hugging. Repetition because the word very is repeated for poetic effect. And alliteration because the consonant sound h is repeated in the words hugs and hard. Next line. If you have any doubts, I guess he will give you just one more caress. Here there are three figures of speech, that is personification, alliteration and repetition. Personification because the bear is given the human trait of caressing. Alliteration because the consonant sound g is repeated in the words give and guess. And repetition because the word you is repeated for poetic effect. Fifth stanza. Though to distinguish beast of prey, a novice might nonplus. Here there are two figures of speech, that is anastrophe and alliteration. Anastrophe because there is inversion in the construction of the sentence for poetic effect. And alliteration because the consonant sound n is repeated in the words novice and nonplus. Next line. The crocodile you always may tell from the Hyenathus. Anastrophe because there is inversion in the construction of the sentence for poetic effect. Next line. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. Here there are your four figures of speech are there: personification, metaphor, transferred epithet and antithesis. Personification because the hyenas are given the human trait of smiling and weeping. Metaphor because there is indirect comparison between the hyenas and crocodiles, the point of comparison being weeping big tears. Transferred epithet because the word merry has been transferred from the hyenas to the smiles with which they are connected. And antithesis because opposite words smiles and weep are used for poetic effect. Sixth stanza. The true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. Metaphor because there is indirect comparison between a chameleon and a lizard. The point of comparison is the creepy traits. Next line. He hasn't any ears at all. Here there are two figures of speech, that is litotes and synecdoche. Litotes because a negation is used to convey the positive meaning that a chameleon is without ears, and synecdoche because part ears stands for the chameleon. Next line. If there is nothing on the tree, it is the chameleon you see. Here there are four figures of speech, that is litotes, alliteration, internal rhyme and repetition. Litotes because a negation is used to convey the positive meaning that a chameleon changes color to camouflage itself so that it remains unseen. Alliteration because the consonant sound th is repeated in the words there and the. Internal rhyme because rhyming words tree and sea are used in the same sentence. And repetition because the word the is repeated for poetic effect. So I hope students you would have understood the poem and poetic devices. So I hope students you would have understood the poem and poetic devices. Thank you.